So, for the past couple of months, I have struggled to get a video out. And this isn't anything new because I struggle with perfectionism. Putting out regular videos is something that I continue to struggle with, and it's something I've struggled with since I started creating YouTube videos to begin with. And what I'd like to share with you guys today are some reasons for why my perfectionism exists and why I struggle with it so frequently. What's going on, guys? My name is Nick, also known as Dunnderhead over on Twitch. I'm a perfectionist. I struggle with perfectionism primarily because of the fact that I have extremely high standards for myself and the way that I do things. When it comes to YouTube, I struggle with the fact that I'm a photographer primarily, and what I want is I want good image quality, I want good audio, and I want to get the point across and share with you guys the knowledge that I have and the stories and things that I want to share with you in a manner that isn't going to be me rambling or me going on about random things that have nothing to do with the video. And I want it to sound like I know what I'm talking about. So part of that problem comes from the fact that I'm a people pleaser. I grew up being the kid who wasn't good at school. And I grew up being the person who was told that if I failed, I wouldn't get anywhere in life. So my brain, as a child, determined that failure meant death. Failure meant if I fail, I might as well not exist. This came from a couple of teachers who didn't know how to teach me because of whether I have ADHD or whether my anxiety is so severe that it mimics a lot of the symptoms of ADHD and all the other issues that I was dealing with. They either didn't know how to teach me correctly, or I did have a few teachers that just, to be honest, weren't very good teachers. I would constantly hear that because I didn't get homework done or because I scored poorly on tests and projects, that I was a failure, that I wasn't going to do well. And that dug deep into me in a way that I still struggle with constructive criticism. I get extremely butthurt. I appreciate constructive criticism and feedback. And I'm learning how to not feel as butthurt because I'll take that feedback and I'll utilize it, but it doesn't change the fact that I get a little butthurt about it. It's a concept that I will probably continue to struggle with for a very long time. And I'm sure it's a concept that a lot of you guys struggle with as well. You see, as somebody who didn't know that he had trauma and didn't know that he had issues that weren't normal, I thought I had it all together. There was a bug. Don't worry about it. That right there is an example of that would really mess with my perfectionism when editing this video. The fact that there was something in the way that like caused a problem. I would normally want to cut that out. When it comes to YouTube, when it comes to my stream, and when it comes to my photography and all these other things, I want it to be perfect. And that is probably very true for a lot of you as well. It's not an abnormal thing, but it is still a struggle that people deal with, regardless of whether or not they know that they don't have to be perfect and that you might as well just do the thing. I recognize that perfection is not real, especially when it comes to YouTube and when we're learning and growing as a YouTube channel. I don't need to be perfect. I am here telling you guys that I'm not. That is the whole purpose of my channel, is telling you guys that I'm not perfect, and the things that I've learned are what I want to share with you because of the fact that we're not. So when I think about perfectionism and my perfectionism, it makes me feel like I don't have the proper knowledge to share with you. Which brings me on to my next point, which is curse of knowledge. Curse of knowledge is essentially the concept that you feel like you don't know enough to share your knowledge. You feel like everyone has the same knowledge that you have. You feel like what you know is just common sense. That's not the case. I know that, but it doesn't change the fact that whenever I start recording a video, I question every single statement that I make, and it feels like I'm just mansplaining to all of you. How I get past curse of knowledge, usually, is the fact that, yeah, there's going to be a lot of people out there who know more than you, who are better than you are at a certain subject. But there's also billions of people on this planet that know less, that are not as experienced in a subject, and that can learn from you. And vice versa, you can learn from the people who are more knowledgeable than you in those areas. That's a huge, huge thing, because you can always be learning more to be able to teach to your audience. And I know this, but it doesn't change the fact that my brain is constantly spiraling with that concept. It doesn't change the fact that I still want to have the proper knowledge to share with you. I'm afraid of being wrong. I'm afraid of giving somebody information that could harm them, or information that doesn't work for them, and then they leave. My last point is the fact that as a child, I had an issue with being a people pleaser and having a fear of failure, that if I failed, those people would leave my life. The people pleaser in me is afraid of failing other people more than it is afraid of failing myself. I'm willing to sit here or sit on stream and cheer you guys on constantly, all day long. I'm the hype man. That's why I became a photographer. That's why I really enjoy portrait photography. I really enjoy when my friends get started on YouTube or on social media, or starting their own art projects, or starting their own business. I'm the hype man. I get really excited about that. So I'm cheering you on, but I can't even cheer myself on. As a people pleaser, that is one of my biggest crutches when it comes to my own perfectionism. So what I want to leave you with, if you're a perfectionist, you have high standards. I applaud you for having high standards, because those standards are important, especially when it comes to taking care of who we are. But your standards are too high for yourself. My standards are too high for me. And I ask you to join me on my journey in self-improvement and learning how to get past that issue by just hanging out, watching my videos, joining me on stream, and we learn together how to be less bad at life. I'm going to barely edit this video because I've been recording this same video for the past 2 months. And the problem is, when I get to editing, I have to sit there and watch myself say the things that I'm saying, and none of it makes sense, but it'll make sense to the few of you that it needs to make sense to. I appreciate you guys being here. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Have a good one.